Growing up, I've been playing soccer ever since I could pretty much walk. That was my main sport. I was a very soccer oriented athlete. That's all I used to do. And then middle school came along and I really fell in love with the sport of basketball. And I was like, hey, I want to play basketball as well. I was decently good at it, kind of went into high school playing basketball. I never really thought that softball was going to make its way into my life until I hit high school. And sophomore year came about. I'd never swung a bat in my entire life, never thrown a softball. And my independent study teacher in high school, Jack Dempsey, had seen me play soccer. He seen me play basketball. He was like, hey, you're pretty quick. Have you ever heard of like slapping in softball? And I kind of looked at him as if he had seven heads. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'd really only watched baseball. And obviously you don't slap in baseball. And this was about January of my sophomore year. So we really only had like a month and a half for him to basically teach me everything about softball. And during the free time that we had during class, we would go up to the gym and he would, pitch me front toss. And I struggled so hard to even just hit the ball, but he told me to stick with it. And pretty much my entire sophomore year of high school, all I did was bunt to get on base because that was predominantly the only thing I really could do. I really wasn't confident slapping the ball at all. And that's pretty much how softball came into my life. Senior year of high school, I was actually talking to my softball coach, and he was like, we need to make you a recruiting video for softball so you can start reaching out to all these coaches. And I looked at him and I was like, I don't really think I want to play collegiate softball. I didn't think that I was capable of it either. I was really focused on playing soccer in college, and that was kind of my main goal. But he really urged me to just in case, make a video. You never know what could happen. And then Coach Zombeck came to one of my games in high school, kind of really was like, hey, have you ever heard of UMass Boston? Would you be interested in taking a tour of the school? So I came here recruited as a soccer player. And during our talk, she was like, oh, you play softball. Let me get you in contact with Coach Daggs, our softball coach, and you guys can kind of see how that relationship plays out. So I ended up getting in contact with Daggs. I sent her my recruiting video, which thankfully Coach Dempsey made me do. And everything kind of fell into place. I talked to them both about maybe being a two-sport athlete, how that would work out, and they were both on the same page with it. So I was predominantly recruited to be a soccer player, and then softball kind of fell into my lap at the same time. In high school, when I really first started playing softball, Coach Dempsey was like, you're going to step out there in the outfield. I really had basically no idea what I was doing, but he told me when the ball comes to you, put your glove out there, catch it, throw it in your shortstop or one of your infielders. And I looked at him and I was like, all right, that seems pretty easy to do. And then I step out there and there's runners on base and I'm like, who do I throw the ball to? And, you kind of learn that the outfield is a lot more than just catching the ball and throwing it back in. And it's a lot more complex than that. And as the season went on, I kind of started getting used to it. Never really thought that I was going to be an infielder. Never had that mentality of, having to know what you're going to do during every single pitch and where you're going to go with the ball. And then I come here to UMass and coach recruited me as an outfielder originally. And I get here, I was playing soccer during the fall. And so I didn't really get to experience fall ball with the team and kind of have her see my skill sets. I had played a little bit of the infield during AAU. I played a little second base, a little bit of third base, but I was never comfortable playing shortstop just because of the major responsibilities that you have at every single play. And pretty much our senior captain, Caitlin Morse, who was our second baseman, came up to me and she was like, you have the utmost potential to be a shortstop and to be really good at what you do. And I looked at her and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I definitely need a lot of help. And coach had so much confidence in me that she came up to me and she said, if this is something that you want to do, I fully support you. And that's pretty much it. We worked on it every single day at practice. And I told her that she could yell at me for anything that I did wrong and that I wanted to be the player that she wanted to make me be. And then that's kind of how that happened. If you had told high school me that I was going to be playing softball collegiately, I would have looked at you and laughed and said that there is absolutely no way that that could happen. And in just 4 years to be able to pick up a sport and be in the shoes that I'm in right now, I'm forever grateful for all the people that have helped me get to where I am. But I had never thought that this was even going to be a thing. Going from not being able to literally swing a bat and make contact with the ball to where I am right now and even playing on such a successful team that we are. It's crazy, and I'm just thankful for the opportunities.